Industrial systems don't forgive silent failures. A pump running slightly off spec, a valve drifting, a sensor feeding corrupted data. These anomalies can cascade into catastrophic downtime or safety incidents. Traditionally, detecting them in multivariate time series means training a custom model for every single deployment. You collect months of normal operation data, train a forecasting network or autoencoder, tune thresholds, and pray the model generalizes when the environment shifts. It's expensive, energy-intensive, and fundamentally brittle. Foundation models changed that conversation. By training on massive, diverse corpora using self-supervised objectives, these models learn rich temporal priors that generalize across domains. Univariate time series foundation models like TimesFM have already shown remarkable zero-shot forecasting performance. So the natural next question is, can we skip the per-dataset training entirely? Can we take a pretrained univariate foundation model, drop it into a multivariate industrial setting, and detect anomalies out of the box? That's exactly what this research investigates. We're testing TimesFM on the secure water treatment benchmark, a real-world dataset with 51 channels tracking a complex water purification process. The goal is zero-shot multivariate time series anomaly detection. No fine-tuning. No domain-specific optimization. Just pretrained weights and raw inference. To do this, we test two complementary strategies. The first is forecasting-based. We treat each of the 51 channels independently, feed a sliding context window of 100 time steps into the model, and ask it to predict the next 32 steps. Since foundation models are trained on univariate data, we bypass cross-channel dependencies. Recent literature suggests that, for many benchmark anomaly detection tasks, modeling individual channels separately is often sufficient. We compute the prediction error per channel, sum them into a joint anomaly score, and threshold it. If the aggregate error crosses a predefined bound, we flag an anomaly. The second strategy is embedding-based. Instead of relying on raw prediction errors, we extract the model's latent representations. We pass each channel's context window through the transformer encoder, grab the intermediate hidden states, and concatenate them into a single feature vector per time step. We then feed these joint embeddings into a standard unsupervised outlier detector, specifically an isolation forest, trained exclusively on the normal operating regime. The foundation model acts purely as a zero-shot feature extractor, and the downstream detector learns what normal looks like in this new representation space. The results are unambiguous. Neither approach comes close to established baselines. On the forecasting pipeline, the F1 score hovers near 0. On the embedding pipeline, we hit an F1 of roughly 0.48. Compare that to simple heuristics. An L2 norm threshold hits 0.78, and a PCA reconstruction error baseline reaches 0.83. Even lightweight neural methods like single-block transformers or MLP mixers outperform the zero-shot foundation model by a wide margin. At first glance, this looks like a failure of generalization. But if you look closely at the error profiles, the opposite is true. The foundation model isn't failing to understand the data. It's succeeding too well. When the sliding window sits entirely in normal operation, prediction errors are minimal. When an anomaly begins, the error spikes sharply at the transition. But once the window slides fully into the anomalous regime, the error collapses back to near 0. The model adapts. It recognizes the new temporal dynamics as a valid, predictable pattern and forecasts them accurately. Persistent anomalies become indistinguishable from normal behavior because the model optimizes for reconstruction fidelity, not anomaly sensitivity. Those two objectives are fundamentally at odds when the anomaly is stable and long-lasting. The embedding pipeline shows a similar story. When we project the latent representations into 3 dimensions using PCA, normal and anomalous segments form partially overlapping clusters. The foundation model does encode some regime discriminative structure, but not enough to give an isolation forest a clean decision boundary. The same adaptability that helps it forecast accurately also causes normal and anomalous windows to map to similar regions in latent space. So why does this matter? Because this negative result reveals a precise mechanism of how foundation models interact with distribution shifts. Traditional anomaly detectors, like PCA error or reconstruction-based autoencoders, learn a fixed global subspace of normal behavior. They don't adapt locally. A persistent anomaly remains a persistent outlier with respect to that fixed subspace. A foundation model, operating with a sliding context window, continuously readapts its internal state to the most recent temporal pattern. It's not a bug. It's a feature of autoregressive transformers trained on long-horizon forecasting. But here's where the insight flips. Those sharp error spikes at the boundaries of anomalous segments aren't noise. They're signal. The foundation model reliably detects distributional changes, even in a zero-shot regime. That makes it exceptionally well-suited for change point detection, a related but distinct task. Instead of labeling every anomalous time step, you're locating the exact onset of a regime shift. And if you look at which channels produce the sharpest error spikes first, you can localize the origin of a fault. That's zero-shot root cause analysis. You might wonder how this compares to Chronos AD, which recently demonstrated strong zero-shot anomaly detection using embeddings from Google's Chronos Foundation model. There are a few plausible explanations. First, architecture and pretraining corpus matter. TimesFM is a decoder-only transformer trained on a specific univariate corpus, while Chronos uses a different architecture and potentially different inductive biases. Second, we evaluated on a single industrial benchmark, SWaT, with a single downstream detector. Chronos AD tested across a broader suite of datasets and may have tuned the scoring pipeline differently. Disentangling model choice, dataset characteristics, and detector selection is a critical direction for future work. So where does this leave us? Zero-shot univariate foundation models are not ready to replace specialized multivariate anomaly detectors for persistent fault identification. The sliding window adaptation mechanism actively works against them. But they are highly promising for boundary detection, change point localization, and multi-channel fault tracing. Future directions should explore few-shot adaptation to shift the model's bias toward anomaly sensitivity, genuinely multivariate foundation models that explicitly capture cross-channel physics, and hybrid pipelines that combine zero-shot representation learning with lightweight domain calibration. The takeaway isn't that foundation models fail at anomaly detection. It's that we need to match the right architectural prior to the right detection objective. If you're hunting for stable, persistent faults, you need a fixed reference frame. If you're hunting for regime shifts and distribution changes, a continuously adapting temporal model is exactly what you want. The zero-shot era isn't about replacing domain-specific training. It's about understanding where pretrained priors naturally align with your detection task, and where they deliberately don't. If you're working on industrial time series, monitoring infrastructure, or building next-generation anomaly detection pipelines, this boundary between forecasting fidelity and anomaly sensitivity is worth keeping in mind. The models are getting better at understanding time. Our job is to make sure we're asking them the right questions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.